Okay, today we have 15 balance changes that Supercell should consider. 8 buffs, 6 nerfs, and 1 rework. So let's jump right to it. Okay, first of all, I know that we just had balance changes, but seems like the next update is gonna come soon because in the last, the thing where BrawlStars announces their update, they said the next update would be in March, and since it would be 2 months, I think it's gonna be in early March, which is like right now. Okay, so we're gonna go through these in order from nerfs overall, and then star powers, and then buffs overall, and then buff star powers. Okay, and then and then reworks. Okay, so starting off with Spike, I think his reload speed should be nerfed by 0.1 seconds. So his reload speed makes him do a lot of damage, and so it's not necessarily because he does a lot of damage with the spikes, although he does do. That's a big part of it, but I think reload speed is the better way to go than damage, since he's also very strong, so I think he needs very strong right now, so I think he needs a nerf. Okay, now Sandy, I think she should drop to normal movement speed, the average movement speed. Right now, she's in the fast movement speed category, so I don't exactly think she deserves it, and because she doesn't. Most of the tanks. The tanks are the ones that have the fast movement speed. And she's not really a tank or really BB. So, yeah, and this is the way I'd go to nerfing her. Okay, now we have Rosa. I think you need to drop her health by 6%. Now, Rosa, there's not a lot of ways you can nerf her. Although maybe her super, but I think that's what makes her unique, so I don't think you should nerf that. And a lot of people think Rosa's a really strong brawler right now. But I don't. But yeah, since a lot of people do. Okay, next is Mr. P. I think that it should take 2 seconds longer for the next bot to spawn after. So when he has his super, I think it should take 2 seconds longer to spawn. So when one dies, it takes 2 seconds longer to spawn than it used to. So this is the way that I would have gone for a nerf for him before, except, of course, a longer time. And he's still really strong because of his super. And a big part of it is this reason. So, yeah. Okay, now we have star power nerfs. The first goes to Piper's Ambush. Ambush would just so much damage. So I'm going to nerf it from 800 more damage at max to 750. And honestly, I don't think it needs a big nerf because Piper's overall without any star powers is a pretty bad brawler. So yeah. Okay, now we have my second and last nerf for star power goes to Jessie. Jessie, her Energize was just so much healing, and if you had a low damage brawler like Poco, other Jessies, and Pennies, they could almost not take out the turret, or maybe even Poco couldn't with Energize when Jessie heals it. So I'm gonna go from 800 healing to 700 healing. Okay, now we have the buffs. So the first one goes to Penny. Penny has been the bottom of my tier list in my last tier list ranking, and no, not the one before that, but honestly, she's just so bad because she doesn't have a game mode where she really is good in. So I'm gonna make the splash where it is 2/3 of a tile wider on each side. Now I feel like this is a good reason, because a good buff for her, because when you're angling, if you're a good she's mainly bad in the pro level. But so if you're in the pro level, you try to angle her shot where you can hit a shot on two people, another person with a splash. So this won't really buff her in low trophies, but it will in high trophies. Okay, Bull, I think he needs a buff, but the way to go to not buff him in low trophies is you make him 25% more damage at range. Now, in most scenarios in low trophies, there's like, he's always at 0 range to set anybody. But in high trophies, that's not the case. And so I think this is the way you go to buff him, because he needs a buff. Okay, now we have 8-bit. 8-bit has been slowly descending over time in the tier list, and now he's a really bad brawler. And so I think he needs a buff. I think you make his super 5 projectiles, so 5 of those mini, like, shooter things of his attack to get his super. There's not really a lot of ways to buff him, and I don't think you buff his movement speed. So yeah, this is the way I want to go. Okay, the next brawler is a brawler that a lot of people ask for buffs to, and that's Shelly. Shelly, I'm going to make her 2/3 of a tile extra range on her attack and super. Yes, this is a big buff. Well, yeah, it's a pretty big buff. And so, but honestly, she's been at really bad for basically forever, except when her bandage was broken. So basically forever. So I think she needs to get good, like be good, because she deserves to be good. Okay, now we're getting into the star power buffs. The first one goes to Penny's last blast. Yeah, Penny's getting 2 buffs. Okay, so I think you just need to make it better AI. Like, the world is improving on AI, so BrawlStars should too. And yeah, that's basically, right now it's not really very accurate. So yeah, this is what you can do to make it a good star power. Okay, next goes to Mortis Creepy Harvest. Now this star power is really good, but basically you want to use his Mortis's coiled snake on every single game mode. So I think you need to make this a little bit better to make it have more use, like make it where it's not a waste if you use it rather than coiled snake. So I think you need to go from 1,800 healing to 2,000 healing per kill you get. Okay, now we're going to Pam, and I think you need to make her second star power. So you make it, instead of 500 damage, you make it 600 damage. And yeah, because right now it's a very bad star power, in my opinion. So yeah. Okay, the next buff goes to Ems. 400 healing, I think you need to make it 500 healing. Like, there's no place where you use this star power over bad karma. Basically, nowhere. And so I think you need to make it usable over bad karma in some scenarios at least. Okay, now we're getting into our last balance change, the rework, going to Mr. P. Okay, Mr. P, his second star power, the one where his turret gets more health. This star power, I know some people know how to use it wisely, and so like you have to go through 10,000 damage to take out the turret, but that's something that you do on average less than one time match, and that's just like sad. And so also Mr. P's a unique brawler, so he has a lot of like chances, I guess, for a unique star power. Like what I have, if Mr. P doesn't land his second bounce, like when he hits someone and then it bounces. And if it doesn't hit, it explodes and does 200 damage to anyone within 1.5 tiles of the of where it was going to land. So yeah. Okay, this is the end of this video. I hope you like it. Like and subscribe. And also, like this video if you agree on my balance changes or you think it's at least creative. Bye.